Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Nance, and welcome to CBS Sports' continuing coverage of the road to the Final Four. Tonight, we begin the regional semifinals. In just a few moments, we'll be sending you down to Reunion Arena in Dallas, where North Carolina of the ACC and Arkansas of the Southwest Conference will tip off the Midwest regional semifinals. And then many of you will see UCLA take on Duke in the East Regional. Others will see the second game in Dallas with Texas against Xavier. Now, all of you will see the conclusion of that Texas-Xavier game live. Across the Hudson over at the Meadowlands, Clemson and Connecticut are underway. Inside 12 minutes to go in the first half. And UConn, the Huskies lead by 6, the top seed on top in that one. Now, in the women's Sweet 16 action tonight, the Lady Tigers of Clemson lost to the defending national champions Tennessee, as the Lady Vols now move on to the Great 8. Right now,
in North Carolina take on the number 4 seed, the Razorbacks of Arkansas. Now the winner of tonight's first contest will advance to the region finals on Saturday afternoon to play the winner of the second contest tonight between Texas and Xavier. And good evening, everyone. I'm James Brown. Tonight's regional semifinals will showcase one longtime power in college basketball against one that's on the rise. The University of North Carolina indeed has the most wins of any team in college basketball history, and certainly one of the elite coaches of all time in Dean Smith. The University of Arkansas is one of the fastest rising programs, piloted by Nolan Richardson, and his talented Razorbacks are poised to shoot their way into that inner circle. I'm pleased to be working with the college basketball guru and Bill Raftery. Bill, an impressive job by Dean Smith with less talent than he's normally had, back to his 10th consecutive Sweet 16.
It's really amazing, James. It's the philosophy and the system of Dean Smith. I saw them early in the year in Maui, and they were not a great North Carolina team. But now this communication between the bench and the floor through King Rice, and they're not turning the ball over in those bunches.
Arkansas has been averaging 96 points a game on the regular season, only 77 in the first 2 rounds of the tournament. But you said the focus shouldn't be on their offense anyway.
Nolan Richardson likes to cause you to turn the basketball over in excess of 20 a game. North Carolina, on the other hand, likes to control it. But when you play Nolan Richardson, there's swipes, there's bumps, there's step-ins. They really strip beautifully, and it's those transition easy baskets that make them awfully tough to beat.
One big note as far as Carolina is concerned, they will in fact be playing without their senior, Kevin Madden, who injured his knee earlier this week. What's that going to do to Carolina?
Well, Lynch and Roto are going to have to step up and play big basketball games, but the one important thing, Lynch will be on the floor more, and it'll give room for Scott Williams to do some damage.
All right, many people feel that Arkansas could be the program of the 90s, and they'll be playing arguably the team of the 80s. For the starting lineups, let's go to our PA announcer, Frank Fallon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Reunion Arena in Dallas for tonight's Midwest Regional Semifinal between the North Carolina Tar Heels and the Arkansas Razorbacks. And now let's meet the starting lineups.
For tip-off here in Dallas, Texas, the officials for tonight's contest: Richard Ballesteros from San Francisco, California, Don Rutledge from Windermere, Florida, and Ted Valentine from Westerville, Ohio. Arkansas in the white, North Carolina in the blue. Mario Credit will be jumping center against Pete Chilcutt. And the tip is controlled by Carolina. This is King Rice. It's Rice, Rick Fox, Pete Chilcutt. Henrik Rodel started in place of the injured Kevin Madden, and Scott Williams, the 6'11 senior.
2-3 matchup right now, James. They trap out of it, step in passing lanes. You have to be patient and execute if Carolina's going to have a good shot.
Lob pass to Williams, a little too high, rebounded by Chilcutt and tapped in.
I think it may have been Scott Williams.
And it's credited to Scott Williams, so the Tar Heels on the scoreboard first. This is Lindsey Howell. Strip. And it'll go back Arkansas's way. Lee Mayberry, Arlen Bowers, the guards, Todd Day, Lindsey Howell, and Mario Credit, the 5 for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Straight up man-to-man by Carolina. They change defenses frequently. You mentioned Howell. He's a key guy. He's played very well of late.
Day. A 3 for Todd Day. An outstanding sophomore, 6'8". He plays both guard and forward for the Razorbacks.
Going to get shots at the elbow right there or underneath, about 5 or 6 feet along the baseline.
The elbow, Bill.
Right at the end of the foul line on either side. You have to be patient. They gamble and stretch so you can actually dribble down to the goal.
Fox misses the three, rebounded by Todd Day, locked up with Scott Williams, who had arthroscopic surgery on that shoulder, and he's grimacing. Day, rebounded by Rick Fox. Rick Fox really has improved considerably in his time at Carolina.
Stepped up his game, and here's the break.
Good pass from Rice to Rodel, who got away with the travel.
And they'll break and get the secondary people involved.
Chilcutt off the mark. This is Lee Mayberry. Bowers. Howell. It's a 5-2 Arkansas lead. Chilcutt back to Fox. Travel.
Great look, and speaking of good looks, they handle the pressure pretty well, but Lindsey Howe, just so impressive in tapes. You hear about Mayberry and Day, but Howe is somewhat the money man.
Only 6'5" and plays the power forward spot. Mayberry for three.
When they shoot the ball, it really is frustrating defensively. You can't stay in your zones. You've got to tag people. Good perimeter game.
An 8-0 run by Arkansas. And Fox is fouled out front by Todd Day, a light touch foul.
Now, James, you're big and solid, but you don't have that kind of speed. Fox, rigid, looks as though he can't blow by people, but extraordinary first step, very explosive.
6'7", 235 from Nassau, the Bahamas. Team's leading scorer at 16 points, and this is Scott Williams. Looks to have shaken off the effects of that shoulder bump that time.
James, spacing is important. You've got to distribute the ball. Carolina very adept at finding open people and looking for one another. Oh.
Inside pass to Williams, and he's fouled. Take your pick, Day or Howell.
High-low, patented, Dean Smith. Now, years ago, I went down to spend a couple of days with Dean Smith and his coaching staff when I was coaching to learn some things. I learned a lot about basketball. I also learned I should get some players that go to Carolina. Great talent, but they respond to the maestro.
Scott Williams, 6'11" senior, hoping for a career professionally at the NBA level.
A number of scouts here just to see him. I think Nolan Richardson's going to have to get those turnovers. And, of course, his great transition basketball can be as explosive as Carolina's.
And you see the foul was assessed to Todd Day, his second personal. Nolan Richardson may be forced to a decision very soon. And Williams 2 for 2. Only a 60% free throw shooter, but he nails it. An 8-4 Arkansas lead early going here at Reunion Arena. James Brown along with Bill Raftery.
Look at the help.
Blocked from behind by Chilcutt, followed by Howell. And Howell showing excellent second effort and a fresh 45 for the Razorbacks.
They must rebound.
Day hammered. Now, he was actually trying to pass it, but will they say he was shooting?
Arkansas has been out-rebounded for the year, 40-37 a game. They struggle. They look physical, particularly when Miller comes in the game, but they don't play big as a team. Of course, Carolina consistently one of the better rebounding teams in the country.
Dean Smith substituting. George Lynch, talented freshman, 6'7" from Roanoke, Virginia, and along with Hubert Davis, 6'4" guard forward from Burke, Virginia. Day, double clutches, rebounded by Fox, and he loses the handle.
Good help. Don Rutledge inadvertently in the way. Rick Fox looking for some assistance there. Now Lynch, we mentioned on the open, a great talent. Watch him in the next couple of years. With Madden out, he may step his game up.
Day steps up with the three-pointer.
Here's the 2-2-1 now. They get you in position, strip from behind.
Hubert Davis, a good three-point shooter. George Lynch, a good all-around athlete for Carolina. So Smith obviously going for speed. Look at this. Rice, nice pass to Williams.
Dribble, penetration, and King Rice is hurting a little bit. But there are openings if you're patient. They posted up Rice, a little wrinkled by North Carolina.
It's a 5-point Razorbacks lead, 11-6. And Scott Williams with all 6 Carolina points.
Straight up, man, you got to run some back doors against them. You may have seen Bowers going on the back cut because they front the passing lanes. They don't let you see the basketball.
Arkansas attempting to get Mario Credit involved on the offensive end and turns it over. 15:58 remaining in the first half. Arkansas on top, 11-6. And King Rice, with a little help from the official, actually threw it away.
There's that strip from behind. Maybe a little bit of a play on. Lee Mayberry with a little nickel dimer.
First personal on Lee Mayberry, and he's got a pair of hands on him. An official's timeout here in Dallas. 11-6, Arkansas on top. 10th consecutive appearance in the Sweet 16, the only school to do such, beating a good Southwest Missouri State team and upsetting top-seeded Oklahoma to advance to the round of 16 here in Dallas, Texas.
Here's that zone. They'll step out in the passing lanes. Carolina will try to space properly, get it to the corners.
Rice for three.
Oh, what a addition he is if he makes the outside shot.
Normally only a 30% shooter from the three-point range. Draws Carolina within 2 of Arkansas, 11-9.
Still the man-to-man with a lot of helping. They'll let you dribble into a trap situation and then have the third man step into a passing lane.
And Todd Day is whistled for his 3rd personal foul, a charging foul. So Nolan Richardson will have to get Todd Day out of there. And that's 19 points a game. The team's leading scorer taking a seat on the bench. And replacing him is Ron Hurley.
Now, that was a great distance from us, but he had to extend the arm. He didn't complain at all.
He knew it. Fox to Chilcutt. And Carolina, working the ball around, has tied the ball game at 11 apiece.
Can't play them zone all the time. You got to mix it up. Nolan's got to think man-to-man.
Howell. Rebounded by Chilcutt. Carolina, in the middle of a 7-0 run, has tied the ball game up at 14:47 remaining in the first half.
Because the zone, there's a lot of holes, and a good passing team like Carolina can exploit. Here's a little man-to-man look right now.
Rice, good pass inside to Lynch. And Lynch likes the rugged action on the inside, Bill, and he puts Carolina in the lead by 2.
Most of their players can go inside and also step out. It's a different team without Day in there.
Howell. You can tell he's really trying to measure that shot. Not a very smooth-looking stroke on it, but nonetheless, it's good for 2, and Arkansas reties it. Carolina really showing a lot of movement on the offensive end as George Lynch goes in.
Well, they got a foul here, an overrule.
Ballesteros overrules the official. And Mario Credit looks like he'll pick up the foul.
Carolina doesn't often dribble unless there's an open lane to the goal. The man-to-man in motion cleared out the back and let Lynch go strong. George is really a fine-looking prospect. And Nolan now has a habit of getting on the officials and getting the change in the game to go his way.
And Nolan wants to know why was he allowing himself to be overruled on that. As you said, setting the tone.
Sure, in the Texas game, he walked out and then came back a little later. That's what I wish I could have done when I coached. Walked out, but a lot of nights I wouldn't have come back. They got into overtime. He came back and coached. Against Dayton, he also got a technical.
Arkansas comes up with the steal. And the score by Mayberry. And we're tied again. As Carolina brings back in Jeff Denny, Henrik Rodel, and Pete Chilcutt, as well as turns the ball over. Three turnovers for the Tar Heels, who at one point have been averaging close to 20 turnovers a game. Got it back down to 17.
Here's the 2-3. Watch how active. They'll trap in the corner. They really challenge the shot.
Mayberry. Rebounded.
Puts pressure on your point guard, James, as to what to run with these quick changing defenses.
Well, that's why Arkansas would like to get the fast break going, not to make that decision.
Now, I like Nolan's switch to the man. It might get them a little more aggressive, particularly a guy like Credit. He's got to get into the flow.
Excellent execution on the offensive end.
I think they got Scott Williams. Well, you're going to get illegal picks in a motion offense. The key is to stand still. And, of course, don't forget, he likes to intimidate a little bit, gets up and gets involved. Dean has his soft way of intimidating officials.
Second personal foul on Scott Williams, and second team foul.
Back to the man-to-man.
Howell for three. Now, he's not accustomed to taking that shot. As a matter of fact, he made his first three-pointer ever in the Southwest Conference tournament.
He started taking a couple. He's got three. Denny in the game, a good shooter for Carolina. Nice back cut.
Good back door. King Rice.
All you have to do is show the ball. When you're a zone team as much as Arkansas is, you don't get in that stance and ready to deny.
Arlen Bowers, Lee Mayberry, Ron Hury, Lindsey Howell, and Mario Credit.
Nice.
Bowers, nice move. Arlen Bowers.
The help got there late, James, and he used the rim to ward off the defender.
Bill, an excellent example of how you can run man-to-man principles against a zone defense.
There's a little back cut again. Now, Arkansas is used to playing that passing lane. There could be some turnovers. They'll step up and switch on occasion.
Mismatch on the inside. Arlen Bowers trying to defend against Pete Chilcutt at 6'9". Bowers at 6'1". Williams tapped in by Chilcutt, misses. Volleyball played by the Carolina squad, and Williams comes up with the basket.
You're wondering about Miller, I know. Well, he's got to come in and be a force. He's just being sent in by Nolan Richardson.
Howell for two. And we're at a 19-17 point with 11:34 remaining in the first half.
If you watch the defense now, the cutters trail the man because they have good foot speed and they can sneak up and deflect the basketball.
Back door. Bad pass by Williams. Henrik Rodel complaining that he was held to no avail. 19-17 Arkansas. As we went to commercial, Dean Smith got assessed a technical foul, Bill.
And normally very quiet, but he said to me earlier he had been looking at a lot of tape, and here's the reason he got upset. Rodel, who's used to this type of physical play in international basketball, has the shirt pulled and it causes the turnover. But in looking at tape, Dean Smith would have seen that Nolan Richardson wisely in the Texas game walked out, got involved, got the officials maybe to help. In the Dayton game, the same type of influence. So the normally very mild manner, Dean Smith, making his presence felt.
Rule change this year, all technical.
They got to pass the ball. You're not going to dribble and beat Carolina. They bring too much help to the ball. Pass and cut.
Howell, of course, make that Hury who missed the shot. Here comes Carolina. Kenny Harris, freshman guard at the point for Carolina, along with Henrik Rodel. Back pass intended for Rick Fox. Stolen by Arkansas, re-stolen by Rodel. So Henrik Rodel trying to make up for the loss of Madden with good, heady all-around play.
And almost the loss of his shirt as well. But Miller, a good passer, turned that one over.
Harris trying to find Scott Williams on the inside. Stays Carolina ball.
Now Miller, who looks heavy on your set, has a thyroid condition. They found that out this year. Medication has helped him lose a lot of weight. Much more agile. Don't let the looks deceive you.
They've gotten up close to 300 pounds this past summer. He's dropped about 20 to 25 and playing well.
I noticed you two spent a lot of time together.
In the cafeteria, right? 10-19 remaining in the first half. Arkansas on top by 3.
A lot of back screens. You notice they'll hold the post for a little bit, then go get another man.
Harris shooting with under 10, connects.
Getting more minutes and certainly taking advantage of them.
Dean Smith says much improved play from Kenny Harris. He's merited more playing time.
Some inside play for Miller would certainly help Arkansas now. Scott Williams uses his speed, really doesn't front or bang.
One reason you might see Lindsey Howell putting up more shots than normal, he's playing back here in his hometown of Dallas, Texas, where he was an all-state player at Bryan Adams High School, and he certainly is a lot more offensively minded than before.
Of course, his dad in the hospital had been in a coma this year, has recovered nicely, expected to be home. So you're right, there's a lot of meaning in this game.
Mayberry.
That's what they need, those turnovers in the key area of the floor that will lead to the easy basket.
Arkansas forces an average of 20 turnovers a game.
When you think of it, Dean Smith recruited you and me in my younger days when I had dark hair. Just think of how many more games he would have won with both of us. He ended up stuck with a guy like Billy Cunningham. Didn't turn into too much.
Michael Jordan, James Worthy.
Great program. And a lot of these kids on Arkansas, Mayberry and Day, commented they would have gone there. They had great interest. The mystique of Carolina under Dean Smith.
George Lynch blocked by Hury, tapped back in.
Oh, they need help.
Give it to Pete Chilcutt. Carolina within one, but slammed in by Oliver Miller. Miller averaging 11 points a game coming off of the bench. There was a point during the season when both Miller and Credit were starting.
They may have to play together tonight, though, for the rebounding problem.
Lynch. Oh, travel.
Almost a gorgeous move. Chilcutt with a nice cut. Lynch couldn't find him. He enjoyed chatting with the press. That shot of Miller. They were all teasing him.
Murray. Rebounded by Chilcutt. And we'd like to welcome those of you who are watching the Clemson Connecticut game up in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Here in Dallas's Reunion Arena, we have Arkansas playing North Carolina. Arkansas nursing a 3-point lead over the Tar Heels. James Brown along with Bill Raftery. And it's been a quick-paced game. And Chilcutt continues to do the job for North Carolina with his 5th rebound. And Bill, they're out-rebounding Arkansas 14-3.
You get that dribble penetration. Without Day, Arkansas has done a great job. 3 personal fouls. Carolina, on the other hand, has gotten Arkansas and Nolan Richardson out of the 2-3 defense.
Arkansas not a strong rebounding team, being out-rebounded by 10 by North Carolina. Arkansas is extremely good as far as creating turnovers. They've done that. Scott Williams, the leading scorer for North Carolina. And as Bill mentioned, Todd Day on the bench for the Arkansas Razorbacks with 3 personal fouls. He's the team's leading scorer. But Arkansas has not been hurt by his absence thus far.
I think they'll need him, though, in the second half. I'm just concerned for Nolan and his rebounding because Carolina doesn't give you many attempts on the offensive end. They seal off very well. And the press really hasn't damaged Carolina. They haven't been able to exploit.
King Rice.
They got a double, and it's a jump ball, and it will be Arkansas. Double violation.
A double violation on Oliver Miller and Scott Williams, both in the free throw lane about 5 seconds before King Rice got it off. When we come back, Arkansas holding to a 3-point lead.
Well, a double lane violation. Both guys get in early, and of course, it's a change of possession rule. And it doesn't matter if one gets in ahead of the other, James. They just call it and give it to the arrow.
Big guys getting ready for the NBA a little too soon.
Well, they cheat a little bit.
Back to live action. Arkansas on the offensive end. Inside to Oliver Miller.
Great help. Got to step into shooting lane.
Fury. Rice up to Fox. Nice pass to Hubert Davis.
One of the weaknesses in looking at the tapes, they don't balance the floor. You can sneak a guy long and get some easy baskets. Great give-off by Carolina.
Nice sleight of hand by Rick Fox. Nolan Richardson with a smaller, quicker squad on the floor. This is Arlen Bowers for 3. And Davis gets the long rebound. And he's hammered Ron Hury.
The continued improvement of Rick Fox, James. What he's done, he's opened up with 3-pointers the last couple of weeks. He's posted up here in the open floor. Really has improved his stock in terms of his future.
And that's amazing considering he did not play high school basketball when he was in Nassau.
You notice they're doing a great job down there on Oliver Miller, not letting him get the basketball. He's such a good passer. It looks like Dean Smith is taking away the passing lane, not even letting him get it. If he gets it, doubling up on him. But he'll find people.
Dean Smith looking at Hubert Davis, who's normally an 80% free throw shooter. Hubert Davis, of course, the nephew of the former Tar Heel, Walter Davis, did not come out of high school with a big rep, but quietly effective in all phases of the game as he ties the ball game at 24 apiece with 6:40 remaining in the first half.
There's Carolina kind of game, I think, with the points and the tempo, running when they see it or need it.
Howell connects.
Nice cut.
Kind of a battle of wills here, Bill, with the bigger squad in by Carolina and a smaller, quicker squad by Arkansas.
I think Nolan Richardson's looking for some speed and turnovers. That's their game. They haven't been able to ignite it. Here's a little bit of a spread.
Fox. King Rice.
Nice give back.
To Chilcutt.
They got Rick Fox with a little shove. He didn't have to. He had Mayberry down there.
That'll be Rick Fox's first personal. Only the third team foul for Carolina as Hubert Davis goes back out to take a seat. Henrik Rodel back in.
Chris Rodel is shooter and active on the glass on occasion.
Rebounded by Williams. I have not seen Lindsey Howell so aggressively seeking his offensive move.
And Carolina one and done. Nice ball fake.
Rice way off the mark. Miller up to Bowers. To Mayberry. Chilcutt with the rebound. And here come the Tar Heels. Chilcutt.
The football and King Rice getting back. A high school football player. And Nolan Richardson seeing the touch passing, the unselfish play, and the numbers as Carolina gets down the floor. He used to have the polka dot towels. Now he's just got the towel.
Anything with polka dot.
Little superstition over the years at Tulsa. Used to buy every tie in Tulsa with a polka dot on it.
And certainly his deceased daughter, Yvonne, liked the polka dot look, and he said he's going to stay with it. Turnover by Arkansas. Number 4 goes back to North Carolina.
James, years ago, his first year at Arkansas, I had time to spend with him when his daughter Yvonne was alive. And it was such a tough year for him. They found out her sickness. She had leukemia. And the team was struggling. He was torn on trips of being home with her. And fortunately for him, you know, he had some solace in the gym. It was tough on his wife.
And tough defense applied by Oliver Miller forces a 5-second call on Carolina's Scott Williams. Turnover number 10 against the Tar Heels in only the first half. 5:04 remaining in the first half. James Brown along with Bill Raftery. We've got a tie ball game in this semifinal action between the Tar Heels and the Razorbacks.
Good ball movement. They just can't get it inside for the kick or reverse, which would punish the defense.
Fury. Way off the mark. Howell with the rebound. Howell scores.
One of the few offensive rebounds, and they really need some help on the glass.
He did that over the 6'9" Chilcutt and the 6'11" Scott Williams. Howell's 10th point, and he leads the Razorbacks.
A lot of back cuts in this set. If you get up high in the stance, they go behind you.
Williams. Mayberry up to Bowers. To Hury. Mayberry, Hury, playing volleyball.
That's their pace.
And Mayberry picks up his second personal foul.
James, they like the frenetic pace. They like to make you run back, not have great balance, not see the correct man to guard. That's Nolan Richardson basketball.
Lynch, Fox, and Matt Wenstrom into the game for the first time. for the Tar Heels. Arkansas over the foul limit. 1-and-1 situation for the Tar Heels and King Rice specifically. This young man has really been saddled with an awful lot of pressure this year. And throughout his career at Carolina, major expectations coming out of high school.
In the last 8 games, he's had almost 8 assists, but he's done exactly what Dean Smith has wanted. He's run the show for him. He's not going to give you big scoring nights each evening, but he contributes by communicating with the team as to what defensive sets and running that break and secondary break.
Nobody happier to be in the Sweet 16 than King Rice, and he feels a team success certainly answers all the questions. And he will get a second attempt at the free throw line because of Miller's anxiousness that is to get into the middle.
Well, when Oliver starts moving, it's going to be tough to stop. Got to stay balanced.
And Rice capitalizes. As a matter of fact, the player said anybody running into Miller certainly will hit the ground quickly.
I think a little loss of weight will certainly help his agility, particularly in the low post area.
2-point Razorbacks lead with 3:55 remaining in the first half.
Nolan trying to get it in Miller's hand. He's such a good passer. He'll find people out there. Moving him a little bit higher.
Miller, good passer. Howe for 3. 13 points for Lindsey Howell. He's at his season's average in the first half.
Rice is generally not flashy, just effective. Beats the timeline, gets them organized.
Lynch.
Ooh. Oh.
I trust you like that one.
Well, there's so much he can do. I just love watching him. He just blew by baseline, used the rim, and Rice with the reach in here. He reminds me a little bit, and don't get upset, America, of Michael Jordan with his great ability to blow by, be athletic, and creative in the air.
In the realm of expensive moves.
Expected during NCAA tournament time, Loyola Marymount with a tournament record 149 points against the defending champion Michigan squad. ACC speaking well for its conference and Bill some close games indeed, 22 of them decided by 4 points or less. Here in the Midwest bracket, North Carolina and Arkansas, of course, in game 1. The winner advances to the region final on Saturday to play the winner of the game later this evening between Xavier and Texas. And I don't think you can use the word Cinderella team anymore because parity certainly is the operative word in college basketball.
People in basketball know all those teams that were called Cinderella, and they don't book them. Man-to-man by Carolina. Nice high-low.
Mario Credit in the game on a nice pass from Miller. And Miller, one of the pluses about him, Bill, his passing.
A point center. Don Nelson watching the game. He came up with the point forward in Paul Pressey. Oliver Miller. Maybe a new look. Put Mayberry down on the box. Let Oliver run the show.
Foul assessed to George Lynch, his first personal.
There's Nelly.
One of a number of NBA types here doing some personal scouting. Credit, a 79% free throw shooter.
Nelly over the years has forced teams to change their sets, offense and defense. Arkansas, as you mentioned, playing a little bit smaller.
A very innovative coach indeed, Don Nelson, as Scott Williams comes into the game, replacing George Lynch. At the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, we will select the Chevrolet players of the game. In conjunction with the award, Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to the general scholarship fund of both schools. Fox for 3. Rebounded by Lindsey Howell. Howell at only 6'5" is actually a power forward in a guard's body.
Chilcott up to 9 on Miller. You can't let him touch the ball. Good things happen.
Quick hands by Kenny Harris as he steals from Bowers but then loses it. Turnover number 11 for Carolina as you take a look at Connecticut with a 12-point lead over the ACC regular season champion Clemson. Now there's a surprise. Connecticut, again, a squad without an impressive middle at all in terms of intimidating players, but doing it with Team D.
Weren't they a lot of fun to do? The way they played together on both ends of the floor. Of course, Kenny Harris was ready to be taken out. He's their backup point for King Rice. He plays hard and has really come along. but Rice was up there to go in prior to the turnover.
The 5 on the floor for the Razorbacks: Lee Mayberry, Arlen Bowers, Lindsey Howell, Mario Credit, and Ron Hury.
Of course, we mentioned Paul Pressey. He had played for Nolan Richardson at Tulsa. The little connection with Don Nelson.
And the man with the ball right now, Lee Mayberry, misses the 3. And the foul is going to be called on Mayberry. And I was just about to say that Nolan Richardson says Lee Mayberry reminds him so much of Paul Pressey and his ability to dominate the game without scoring. But here he's going to have to take a seat on the bench with his 3rd personal foul.
And their 2 key players in the backcourt, or at least backcourt and swingman in Todd Day, will rest next to the mentor.
Ernie Murray, 6'1" junior, replacing Lee Mayberry. And, of course, Mayberry, the co-player of the year in the Southwest Conference with Travis Mays of Texas.
And watching Arkansas practice, I got the biggest kick out of Nolan Richardson. You better run down the floor because he's running behind you during practice. Put the fear of God in you.
Tenacious.
Little 2-3 zone now.
2:08 remaining in the first half as Howell bangs in yet another jumper. 15 first half points for Lindsey Howell, who was an afterthought by Nolan Richardson. Personal foul assessed to Lindsey Howell. Howell's first personal foul. I mentioned an afterthought. Lindsey Howell was not heavily recruited out of junior college at all. As a matter of fact, Arkansas was the only Division I school to offer him a scholarship.
He picks up the spoils for them, but did you notice the Carolina overpass in a sense? They give that extra pass when the defense is caught. They're very disarming.
Rodel off the mark. It's a 7-point Razorbacks lead.
A great speed down the floor, Arkansas. It's an onslaught as they get him up and down. But Carolina has not trapped on the sideline in this 2-3. Strictly match. Want them to beat him outside.
Murray way off the mark. Rebounded by George Lynch. Rice. Good hustle by Hury. But it goes back to Carolina. Under a minute to play in the first half. Arkansas on top by 7 as George Lynch goes up and is fouled by Mario Credit. And Credit picks up his 2nd personal foul.
Well, there are an awful lot of Arkansas fans here, but it's not influencing the officials. That time Lynch got in and caught in a difficult position. Didn't come up with a good shot. Got the bailout call, but you can see how he can just explode by the defender and create for the offense.
Hubert Davis in to replace Henrik Rodel. Oliver Miller in for Mario Credit for Arkansas. George Lynch, 4 points, 3 rebounds on the evening. Now, Bill, you sure you don't want to take back that statement about Lynch reminding you a lot of Michael Jordan?
Well, I'm going to see Michael Jordan on the golf course this summer, and I'm sure somebody's going to tell him and bring it up. I'm not saying he's as good, but he's got some innate ability and will reach another level before his 4 years are over.
And Lynch finds the range on a 2nd free throw. I know one thing, Lynch was anxious to wear J.R. Reed's number 34. As Arkansas's Ernie Murray throws it away with 49 seconds remaining and Carolina trailing by only 5.
James, see how they don't let you relax, Carolina? After the free throw, they hadn't pressed at all. Now they come up 3/4 court, make you change your look, change your position, and create the turnover.
And Nolan Richardson, looking for a little better basketball decisions, brings in Cannon Whitby, 6-foot senior guard, replacing Ernie Murray. 3 seconds difference from the shot clock to the game clock.
Of course, Cannon's a pretty good deep shooter as well. We saw him having a little contest with Todd Day. Has some range. They'll run it down as much as they can. Milk it.
Rice, Davis, Fox, Chilcutt, and Scott Williams, the 5 on the floor for the Tar Heels.
What's the fear of Ira Dean Smith? The 2 guards not in with the foul problems, and still Arkansas playing good basketball.
Trying to get it to Fox for the three-point shot. Davis. Strip. Williams gets the loose ball and goes up and is fouled.
Hal caught on the back. Whatever you give Carolina, they usually take. I'm so impressed from early in the season when they were struggling and didn't pass well. We mentioned the defense on the open. Right here, Arkansas reacting to the outside shot, knowing Davis through scouting can shoot it, takes it strong to the hole.
And who says that Dean Smith still not involved after 29 years of coaching?
He has not lost a step from his early days with Frank McGuire when Frank had him on the road. Taught him a little bit about New York and the subway system. In those days, Dean used to get lost when he got to New York. Now he owns that city.
Second personal foul on Lindsey Howell. Scott Williams at the line, 8 points, 4 rebounds on the evening. Make it 9.
This is tempting right now, too, for a press, so Arkansas better be prepared. They don't want to get a quick bang-bang.
And Williams cuts the Arkansas lead to 3 with 5.9 seconds remaining in the first half.
King Rice trying to get everybody up a little, not to give them all the time in the world.
Bowers.
Oh. King Rice.
Second personal on Rice.
Pretty good coaching, though, to give away under the limit. Stop the clock.
Carolina, of course, with the fouls to give.
Always in the game. Whippy's a deep shooter.
Next personal foul by Carolina will put Arkansas at the line. Miller gets it off in time and scores.
You don't want Oliver Miller to touch the ball. The play was designed for Cannon. Whippy out high. Wisely, Miller stepping into the slot there and banging it home.
So that's the end of the first half with the score Arkansas 39, Carolina 34. CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports.
In Dallas at the Midwest Regional, Arkansas up by 5, although Day and Mayberry straddled with 3 fouls. Rick Fox has not scored in the first half for the Tar Heels. Welcome back to New York, everybody. I'm Jim Nance, and alongside my partner, Mike Francesa. Let me introduce Mike to you once more. He was our former editorial consultant here at CBS Sports, a behind-the-scenes man for the last 8 years, and now he comes before the cameras this year. Mike has also written preseason top 20s magazine articles for Sport Magazine and hosts a popular radio show here in New York. Mike, let me get your thoughts on the first half here, Arkansas, Carolina.
Well, Rick Fox didn't score. Arkansas guys in foul trouble. Carolina's got to be happy with where they are right now.
Okay, how about Carolina? I know Kevin Madden injured this week, but you were telling me good week for the Tar Heels overall.
Big week in terms of recruiting. They get the 7-footer Eric Montrose out of Indiana. Was talking about Indiana and Michigan. They got Phelps, they got Reese, they got 5 very good players, 3 top-of-the-line players. People were saying Dean Smith couldn't recruit anymore. By 1992, look for them to challenge for the whole thing.
All right, he's got the shining class of the year, the recruiting class. Connecticut now starting to pull away from Clemson. About 12 minutes left in this contest at the Meadowlands, East Regional action. And let's go there right now and join our colleagues Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown.
We want to welcome those who've been watching North Carolina and Arkansas. This is our story in the second half. Connecticut has dominated Clemson throughout this game and lead right now 59-42. We're at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown with you. And when we get back,
All right, we'll be trying to get back for a little taste of that game here as we continue at halftime. But in the meantime, Mike, a chance to discuss the embattled coach at North Carolina State, Jim Valvano, under fire for the last month. What's the latest on that situation?
A story that hopefully will be coming to an ending. You know, it was reported that the Board of Trustees, after getting some new information about problems with grades, problem with campus security, has decided to seek Jim Valvano's resignation. Now, what I found out was this. The way it's going to go, Jim, is they're going to say to him, listen, accept this buyout, or you can check us out in court and see if you can win a just cause case for the 4.5 years. Either way, Valvano's gone.
If he, well, who's going to replace him at North Carolina State once he's out then?
Well, Tom Penders, whose names came up with Florida this week, He's a guy who could get a big contract with Texas, but I've learned that an ACC official, not an NC State official, called Tom Penders this week and asked him if he would be interested in the NC State position. Other guys, Rick Barnes, Les Robinson at East Tennessee State, and never forget Pete Gillen. His name will surface everywhere.
I think Tommy Pender's name will surface everywhere as well, both Gillen and Penders. All right, in women's tournament action tonight, let's run down some scores for you. The defending national champions at Pat Summit, Tennessee, beat Clemson 80-62. Clemson, 23 turnovers in that contest. And next up for Tennessee, the winner of this game between Providence and Virginia, a 7-point lead just before halftime for Virginia. Washington's first trip to the Grade 8 as Washington a 12-point win over South Carolina tonight. And in Midwest regional action, Jody Conrad and the Lady Longhorns of Texas down 2 at halftime to North Carolina State. Now, again, we continue on 4 games in all tonight. We're about to take you back for a continuation of a taste from Connecticut and Clemson at the Meadowlands. It's a 17-point lead for Connecticut. The timeout now is over. They're back on the court. Let's rejoin Dick and Hubie.
Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown. Here's the story, and the #1 number is the big one, the offensive rebound, Hubie.
I've got big surprise in this ball game up to date. We realized that the UConn press would be dynamite, and Clemson has turned the ball over 18 times, and it's led to many fast breaks. And then also another somewhat surprise is the outstanding outside three-point shooting of Connecticut up to date.
One of the turnovers going the other way, and Marion Cash misses the layup. Sean Tyson follows up. Clemson has not been without great chances, especially early on, but they missed all the good chances they had.
This is the first time today that we are seeing over half-court pressure by Clemson.
It is still Connecticut ball, and they've got to pull out the stops now, and coming back into the game is Tate George, so they need a good ball handler against the pressure defense by Clemson in midcourt.
Well, it's been a game of easy baskets. Connecticut is getting them all off the second shot and the fast break, and Clemson has been struggling. There's been nothing easy for them today.
Chris Smith, 23 points, the high score in the game. DePriest tried to get it inside to Sellers. Jim Calhoun in his 3rd year at Connecticut with a withering defensive pressure, 30-5 coming into this game.
See, this is very smart. UConn working the ball, taking their time, running clock. You're down to 6 seconds on the shot clock.
Sellers trapped in the corner. Here's DePriest, and they use the clock, and DePriest scores. Normally a defensive specialist, and it's 61-44.
That's smart basketball.
Later tonight, it'll be Duke against UCLA. Connecticut could be facing the winner of that game in the regional final on Saturday here at the Meadowlands.
See, today, Clemson has not been able to break the UConn press and score. They've been trying, but they have not been able to get any easy baskets. The UConn, once they trap them, their foot quickness gets back and then allows them to get into the 2-3 zone.
Sean Tyson with the miss. Dale Davis trying to keep it going, and it's going to be Clemson.
All right, so Connecticut has been in control throughout, up 17 in that one. Following Arkansas, North Carolina later tonight, most will see UCLA against Duke from the Meadowlands. Others will watch Texas Xavier. Regardless, the whole nation will get there for the finish of that Longhorn Musketeer contest back in Dallas. And we'll continue on the road to the Final Four on CBS in just a moment.